What's beef? Beef is when you need two gats to go to sleep. Beef is when your mom ain't safe up in the streets. What's beef? To quote the late great notorious B.I.G. What's up, everybody? You already know what time it is. Today I'm talking about the continued beef between the Thomas family and Sal Boseli and the Italian mob moving forward into season 3. So let's get into it. Alright. In the conclusion, the last few episodes of season 2 of Raising Kanan, Sal Boseli and his crew started to lose a lot of manpower. It all started with the loss of his son Marco Boseli when him and Dominic did the hit on Tony that went bad. So it started off with with the heir to the throne, I should say, Marco. He really not a soldier, but he was trying to get in his own dirt. You know, Papa wasn't really letting him get into the streets like that, so he was always trying to get into his own thing. Got into his own thing in Marvin, but picked the wrong guy to go with him in Dominic, and messed up the whole situation. So after we saw Marco go down, we saw Dominic go down, and we saw them try to get at Marvin but miss and take out Renee. And because of that, we seen the worst hitman of all time, Jimmy, go down. But that was Sal's long-time friend. I guess that's why he was still using a hitman who washed up. That's like putting Michael Jordan back on I'm not saying he was the Michael Jordan hitman by no means. It's like putting Michael Jordan back on the NBA right now. He ain't gonna be the same guy at 60 as he was at 30. So I mean, Jimmy might have should have retired from hitman because he was not doing a very good job at that work no more. After that, we saw 4 soldiers outside the bowling alley or whatever that was, where the Marvin and Lou and the crew did the drive-by, Nino Brown style, almost Nino Brown style. Not quite as efficient, but they did their thing. I would have definitely liked to see him just finish the beef at one time. They already got the jump. On them boys. Sal Boseli ran out. All they had to do was turn their cars around or have one car trailing, spin the block again. One of those 3 things, and they could have finished the beef without losing nobody, because they wouldn't have had nobody left to come for them. Especially if they would have took the shot caller out, Sal Boseli, in that drive-by, which they should have definitely did. So big mistake there. But nonetheless, Sal lost about 7 to 10 more shooters in the shootouts in the 3 apartment the Project Trap buildings and Bulletproof Records. He lost 2, and he lost 2 more at Rock's house. So he lost anywhere between 7 to 10 soldiers in that whole ordeal. And he lost all of this, lost all this manpower, shed all this blood, because his son Marco made a mistake and brought Dominic along with him, and instead of consulting with his father about the job. If he could have all been done. Yeah, Marvin didn't go directly to Sal, but he went to Marco. So Marco had his chance to go to Sal, and he taken all this over because of his son's mistake, taking it out on Rock and her whole organization. And he has basically, I can't say there's been a winner of this war, because both of them have taken big L's in this war. We heard Jason say in Power, war is bad for business, and Ghost always tried to stay out of war. We always heard in Power, we'll go to war, we'll go to war. Tommy wanted to go to war several times, But Ghost was smart enough to never get involved in a real war, even though we did see Ghost in personal wars with different people, but he never we never seen no war in Power like we just saw go down in the final episode of Raising Kanan. Now that's what a real war looked like. So we never saw that in Power. We saw different hits go out on different people, but never necessarily a whole bunch of shootouts and casualties like that I can remember. If you can remember it going down like that ever in Power, I mean, I definitely know there were shootouts in particular scenes, but never just an all-out war like that. So if you could name a war that happened like that in Power, but I think Ghost was smart enough to always find a way out of the wars. So if that was Ghost in Rock's position, I don't think he would have offered his brother up either, because it wasn't really his brother's fault. But I think he could have worked with, he would have worked with Sal in a way to find a solution to this, to avoid getting involved in a war. And we already heard Kanan say in episode around 6, when Lou took out Crown, that when it goes from business to personal, bodies start dropping fast. And that's what we seen. It got personal for Sal, and bodies started dropping quick. And even for Rock, she takes a great financial loss in this war. She has lost a whole lot of manpower herself in all the raids of her trap spots. Plus, with those 3 trap spots getting raided, most likely she will not go back there. So that's all the money and all the product for the cops to find when they come to find out what all the shooting was about and find all the bodies everywhere. Most likely Rock ain't gonna be going back to those spots. The only one that she probably would go back to is the one, she probably will go to the drop spots, because each trap had a drop spot underneath it. So they do have at least part of their work in those spots, but only one spot was actually able to drop the work down into the lower level, and that was Marvin's spot, because they had the jump that the people were actually coming, and Brady, or whatever his name was, he held the guys off long enough, sacrificed his own life. So it's gonna be hard to say, even the cops waiting when they come and find out, raid those spots. Most likely they're going to find the chutes eventually. There's a chance they will anyway. I don't know. I should say most likely there's a chance they're going to find those chutes. So it's going to be hard pressed if Rock goes back there at all. I mean, personally, if I was her, I wouldn't go back there. I might send someone to try to check it out and see if they can go back there without having any cops rush into the scene. But they most likely they're gonna have people up in there for a while trying to see who comes up into that spot, so they can get some answers for all the drugs, drug money, and bloodshed up in them spots. So that gives me to the question. I know the answer gonna be no, but most likely for most people, will Rock flee? Will Rock get out? Will this cause Rock to get out of the game? She's just done had her spots hit. All 3 of her trap spots hit. She's at war with her Connect, right? Not really war, but she's threatened. Her Connect did her dirty. She's threatened to find a new Connect. So to me, as long as she got all that money still saved, and she just bought a house with cash, it would be hard pressed for me to get back in the game if I was her. Now I know Rock is probably gonna get back in the game. Most likely gonna guaranteed get back in the game. Still be in the game. I guess she never left the game, but still be in the game. But I would think maybe she would flee for at least a period of time to let things cool down, because on top of having possibly cops looking for her, she can't go back. At least best case scenario, she just probably can't go back to her spots. Cops might not be looking for her. She still has the Italian mob looking for her. Sal Boseli still alive. So all those problems are questions she's got to come up with in season 3. Not to mention Unique sees, I just made a video on this yesterday, Unique sees Howard pulling up to Rock's house with Kanan. So that's a whole nother issue to be, and she also is at war with Blue right now. So she has a multitude of problems going into season 3. But most likely, we're going to see her continue to try to work this out and keep grinding, keep hustling, stay in the game. That gets me to Stefano Marchetti, which he is the boss of the New York the Italian mob of New York. We see Sal already come to address him in the season finale of season 2. And he said that Rock had already been there to address him about this beef or war as well. Stefano warned both of them to keep them out of the war, but the problem is there's no resolution to this war yet. Just a lot of bloodshed. Marvin's still alive, Rock is still alive, and Sal Boseli's still alive. So yeah, there's a whole lot of foot soldiers that were casualties in this war, but nonetheless the main people are still alive. So maybe Stefano Marchetti calls Sal and Rock to the table and tells them to squash this beef. There's already been enough bloodshed, because we do know Stefano will have a bigger role in season 3, because he is a casted to recur in season 3. So he will be in season 3. Will he try to get this beef squashed? Will he become Rock's new enemy? Will he take up for Sal and all the loss? I mean, I don't personally see any reason why he would take up for Sal in this beef, because Sal is, to me, and almost everybody who's looking at this, he is in the wrong. His son made a mistake. He's taking it out on some people who were involved, but it was not worth this much of a war, and it's not worth even continuing to pursue him. So if he definitely continues to pursue Stefan, might step in favor of Rock. And that gets me to another question: is will Stefano Marchetti become Rock's new connect? I made a video about her dispute with Joaquin in the finale and Juliana, and she said she could always find a new connect. So my question is, will she stop messing with Joaquin and turn to Stefano and the New York Italian mob syndicate for her product, which I would not think would be a good idea, because I mean, she has a direct connect with a Colombian connect right now. And in the Coke game, you're not gonna get no better than a Colombian connect. The Italians are not probably gonna have a better connect in her. Now, if it was another type of product, now I could see they might have a better deal. But with cocaina, the Colombian, South America, Mexico, that's where it's all coming from. So that they're going to have the best product, lowest price when in regards to that. So I don't see it being her new connect, but it's always a possibility as well, because she might just be fed up with Joaquin after he really did her dirty. But at the end of the day, he's the connect. He can do what he wants to do, because she do need him, especially if he does have he definitely has a better he's definitely a better plug than Dean was from season 1. So I don't think she's going to leave him, but she had Dean as her plug in season 1, Joaquin as her plug in season 2. Could we see her move on to Stefano Marchetti in season 3? It is a possibility. Now I just want to just close like this. I talked about for a while how when are we going to get the New Jack City Nino Brown motorcycle scene, when we do the drive-by and we take out this stupid Italian mob? So we seen him try to do a little bootleg version of the Nino Brown scene with Marvin and Lou, and they took out 4 soldiers in their drive-by scene. But I mean, to me it was weak. They definitely, all those, Nino Brown took out more soldiers than that with just himself on the strap to the back of a motorcycle. These dudes got 3 cars, and they can't even like space their cars out enough to, when the second wave of the mob runs out to see what happens, that they can't come by and hit them all. That was pathetic. 3 cars and all y'all hit is 4 people. Okay, but anyway, so what my next scene is, I say Kanan just seen his mama get shot at the end of season 2 finale. He has a shocked look on his face. He gonna be pissed off. He gonna want blood. Like I said, there was a part in Power when Tariq stood up and told Tasha, I should be the one protecting you. I think this is gonna be Kanan's moment, and I want to see this smug dude Sal Boseli get taken out. So I'm gonna tell you this, the movie that I would love to see Sal Boseli get taken out. Like, this is just for my own personal fun right now. If you made it through this part of the video, if you lasted to this long in the video, you want to hear this part. So in American Gangster, there was a dude who was trying to get money from old boy, the main guy in the show. I can't remember his name, but the main guy, the main character, Denzel Washington. I'll just call him Denzel. He was trying to get money from Denzel, and he was like saying, you're working in my territory, you owe me 10%. And he was real smug, same type of character as Sal Boseli. And then he owed Denzel for some product, and he came in there, and nonetheless they got into a little bit of a dispute, and the guy walked away and was at a hot dog stand or something, and Denzel got straight up from his seat with his brothers. He said, hold on for 1 minute, hold my coffee. He went out there right in broad daylight, put his gun to that dude's head and shot him right there in broad daylight at the hot dog stand and everything, and took the money out of his pocket and left his 10% right there on his chest as a sign that he is the boss and he's to be feared. He's not to be played with. Now, I would love for Kanan, because we're gonna have to see a scene. PB, you're beating up Freddy. That was alright. That is cool. He beat down Freddy. But getting revenge on the man who sent some hitters out for your moms and doing it like Denzel did in American Gangster, letting everybody know, putting the New York on notice that Kanan Stark is the big boss, not to be messed with. Boy, take out Sal Boseli like that dude did on American Gangster, man. That's what I want to see. Alright, leave y'all comments. Leave y'all predictions in the comments for what y'all think's gonna happen with this war moving forward into season number 3 of Raising Kanan.